see what they go for.
Yeah, plenty of options available for them right now. That brief Senna hover, not something that I would typically think of for Gala and Ming, but plenty of options available. The Ahri up, the Viego that they hovered earlier on. The Wukong obviously banned already, but will just be that Ahri Fortnite. This has been one of the standard picks Fortnite so far this split. Standard picks for almost everyone in the LPL, honestly.
Yeah, so Lissandra was that really strong counter we saw Xiaohu bring out at MSI in the finals, well, early in the tournament as well. That is banned away. We have seen Xiaohu play it when Ahri's not there, but it makes sense. It's double dipping, right? You ban away a pick for Xiaohu and a counter for the Ahri. And we see RNG instantly respond with the Senna and the Corki. Now, they don't commit to the Tahm early. They have that flexibility on the third pick, depending what top esports go for. And this is a lot of range, a lot of scaling already for RNG. So we'll see what top esports opt to answer. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bot lane pick up here. So you have a way of looking to counteract the pressure from that Senna early.
Yeah, so far, there's only been one Senna game from RNG this split, but it was a win. It was a huge win for the side of RNG, so we'll see if that's going to work. But aggressive bottom lane here with the Nami Lucian. We'll see what Ming and Gala are going to be able to do about that in the 2v2. I mean, the Tahm Kench is an obvious lock-in at this point. We have to talk about the next round of bans because we're talking about jungle, we're talking about top lane. Jungle is not usually left this late in the draft.
Yeah, and this favors RNG because they have counter-pick top lane if they need it. And also, they get first choice of jungle. So both teams start banning away junglers. That means that means RNG is going to be able to pick up way the cream of the crop for what's left over. For top esports, I think they'd probably start to ban away top laners that might be concerned about things that Breeze can counter-pick. We haven't really seen him lean too much towards the Kale, but that could be something. GP is a possibility. And RNG actually going to ban away the Poppy, which, you know, we've seen that as an answer into things like the Lee Sin. That obviously is one of the junglers on the forefront, right, of what is left open and available. There is still that Viego, obviously, but top esports don't care. They're just going to focus on banning top laners.
Yeah, that Poppy ban as well. Going to be a bit of a pain for Tian. This Poppy has been one of these picks that's been creeping into the meta in the LPL, and depending on the team, some teams really, really loving it. Tian, a player not actually picking up the Poppy just yet, but preemptively being banned away from him. The Sejuani as well, taken off the board. That Gnar that we talked about a lot in the second series of today, it was like first picked in the second series of today, yet to be even touched in this draft.
Yeah, so potential option, a decent blind, and that is actually going to get banned away by top esports. So RNG have a choice. If there's any top laners, like maybe a GP or something they really want to lean on now, you can take it. Or if you just want choice of junglers, that is absolutely an opportunity. They could take the Lee Sin and take the Viego, whatever they feel suits them better, and then leave that top lane counter pick until the later stages. Something to be said is there's a lot of scaling on the side of RNG, but obviously you kind of are going up against, you know, Knight on this Ahri, not going to be checked by the Corki. Lucian, Nami, very aggressive. They opt to go for the Trundle, something that does well into Xin Zhao, can do well in sort of early fights against the Viego, can't really challenge. And something to mention is Bel'Veth kind of just flown through draft here.
That would be an intriguing lock-in if we do get the Bel'Veth coming on through. We talked about how Bel'Veth does want to have winning lanes. Well, Lucian, Nami, and an Ahri as well can certainly work, but the Viego locked in the end. It's going to just be to bait me instead. And now we need to see where Wayward will go up in the top side with this blind pick. The Ornn, Sion available. Not usually his style, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think the thing with picking like an Ornn or a Sion is you have a Trundle in the enemy team. Huge value in terms of stats there, but I feel like, you know, with Gnar gone in terms of blinds, Gragas actually works really well. So you're not as tanky as those other two. You're not getting as much stats stolen. Still a solid blind here. We'll see what Breathe opts to go for. Something like a GP could even make sense here. You give that global coverage to help the team out to mitigate some pressure. I feel like RNG are going to want to lean into the scaling on this one. So anything that can give them some assurance there would make a hell of a lot of difference.
Yeah, let's see the Gragas. It feels very 369, doesn't it? Does feel like a throwback for top esports. It's the wrong top laner locking it in, but it's not a pick that they're short of experience playing with, as the Gangplank locked in for Breathe here. And we have our two compositions, massive amounts of scaling on the side of RNG, right? All three lanes with a big scaling pickup. On the other side, top esports, it feels like they're going to be putting their foot down in the early game.
And, you know, I don't think there's a way we could feel more reminiscent of the spring playoffs than this, right? Top esports, pedal to the metal. We're going to win early. We're going to crush you. RNG like, okay, mid game we are going to take over. And you know, one of the things we have seen Lucian Nami sort of fall out the meta. There was the durability change that kind of limited them a bit. They did also nerf Lucian's Q, and we started to see more counters. I do like the fact that they brought it in here after seeing the bot lane. They know they're not getting faced with like Calista Renata, which is very problematic. So you're going to have a lot of pressure in the bot lane, especially at level 3 when you get your abilities available. Mid lane, Ahri should be able to find prior against the Corki consistently. So you have so many tools to work with. I think it's the thing to hit on with top esports. You need to be the ones making the proactive early plays. Tian is a jungler who will be very aggressive, and they need to ride that momentum and not give RNG a way back into the game, or it will feel very reminiscent of those playoffs, and not in a good way for top esports.
It's exciting, isn't it? Because like you say, it does feel reminiscent just in terms of the win conditions alone. Like top esports want to be aggressive in the early game, RNG want to play for the mid and late game. That is basically the TLDR of those two playoff series that we saw in spring. And I'm hoping that we get a similar performance coming out from top esports, where they are aggressive and they do make those early game players, because they were all over the map in those two series. We'll have to see what RNG have up their sleeves, though, because, you know, a lot of scaling and a lot of potential to come back in that mid game. We talked about how they have been finding these comebacks, but not necessarily against opponents of the caliber of top esports. We'll have to see what RNG have up their sleeves.
And I feel like a big thing is going to be tracking the junglers. Where is Tian going to be? What is he going to be doing? Can he stop it from happening?
Dude, this Gangplank skin looks like Pike, honestly. Like, at
Yeah,
a glance,
it does a bit.
you'd easily believe that was Pike.
Similar themes. I love I love when we get the top lanes just standing, dancing with each other, dropping the emotes.
This is, I mean,
Good
this, like, when you're looking at the difference in emotes here, this is like Season 1 champ versus a reworked champ. Like, the difference in quality between these two skins of Scuba Gragas versus whatever on earth this Gangplank skin is, like, it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah, then you have Bree just has the thumbs up, and Wayward, he has the crying and Moo, he has the Silas emote, you know, he's got a full arsenal ready. Any emotion he wants to portray, he's got it in his wheelhouse.
Every player gets $15 of budget. Wayward spent it all on emotes. Breathe spent it on that one skin. That's the difference between these two top laners right here. Let's be serious, though, and talk about what's coming up in this early game, because both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map here, pathing up potentially towards that very top lane.
Yeah, I think for Wei, you want to, as best as possible, just match Tian. In the early levels, you know, if you get caught into a skirmish, if you commit with your W, and end up in melee range of Trundle, it's not a fun time for the Viego. You want to try and avoid that, and obviously try and be in a position where you're not being matched. We don't have a ton of vision actually placed down into either jungle, but we do have some wards in the river from both sides. So if they end up clashing on the scuttles, which could happen, that's where we'll sort of see them interact first.
Yeah, we'll have to see if there is going to be a scrap at the bottom side as JackeyLove goes forwards. The Scuttle Crabs was what I meant to say there, but big damage coming out from JackeyLove. I was just mind blown at the level 2 spike, and Ming not really giving enough respect to this Nami Lucian.
Yeah, something to be said though.
And again, gets more damage down onto him, but actually it was a bait flash out from JackeyLove. Ming now low on HP, but no follow up from the rest of JackeyLove's damage here. Couldn't get in range, and actually it works out for Ming and Gala because they got sustained. Yeah,
I mean, that's one of the things we talked about with the Lucian Nami is you have very high burst, but if you don't kill someone, you kind of just left auto-attacking after that. We see RNG find the re-engage. They burn more summoners, so they traded up in summoners because they got JackeyLove's flash. And bear in mind, all that damage was put onto Ming. Ming has a Doran shield, second wind, and Tahm Kench has tons of built-in sustain. Every time you land a tongue lash on a champion, you get a bit of healing. So for all those reasons, RNG, as much as that early trade looked a bit rough, it isn't as bad as it could be. It's still top esports favored in the pressure, but that trade does alleviate a bit for RNG.
Yeah, nicely done there by Tian to be first on the crab. Look at this. I mean, obviously Gala and Ming know that this is an option, know that this is a very real possibility. They'll dodge the bubble. So JackeyLove just trying to get a bit of damage mark. Not quite able to find his target there. If the bubble lands, though, there's kill threat. And that is just the story of this lane from start to finish. Kill threat in the top side as well as Tian looks for the gank onto Breathe. A good way to start this matchup off. Bully the new top laner of RNG, but Way in the wings trying to join his top lane and protect him. But can't go for this 2v1 as he steps on forwards a bit too aggressively. Tian still pretty healthy right now as Breathe knocks back. Flash is available, but Breathe flashes too late. It's 2 kills for Wayward and an absolute disaster for RNG.
Yeah, Way shows up, but it's like, hey, I can get you out of this situation. And then he ends up opting into it himself. There's no one to save Way. Double kill for Wayward this early, absolutely massive. And this, yeah, I feel the same way, Wayward. This is everything top esports wanted and more. And from a situation where they were out, RNG could have left. And you'll see the replay. Stun doesn't connect on a Breathe. He ends up gaining some distance here. You even see the body slam connect, but with this pillar, like Wayward and Tian are backing away. Way didn't have to run in, and he's still going forwards, going in.
Yeah, clearly not on the same page between the two players here. I think he was obviously anticipating like big barrel damage across the two of them, but I mean, that's a level 5 Gangplank with no items. I don't really know what kind of damage you expected to come out. Bit of a disaster for RNG, but ultimately top esports finding their opportunity and just like kind of can't believe their eyes, right? Getting this scrap to just extend itself. They're like, okay, we'll keep on right-clicking then. Nice one.
Yeah.
So they find themselves an advantage, and now off the back of that, Tian, with that tempo, moves down towards this Drake.
Yeah, and you have the pressure to basically do what you want. Like I said, Way just wants to mitigate. Getting caught into that, though, gives a big advantage. Now, top lane is going to be harder to breathe. You have the Hextech ult already for Wayward for some extra trading power. Look at that damage that comes out already. Red buff as well for the sustain. And then on the bot side, you have bot prio, you have mid prio. So Tian just has free roam to do what he wants on the map, picking up that early dragon. And it is a very early dragon, which means ample time to get into a position on the top side of the map to set up for that Herald as well. And really setting a good pace for this game.
And, I mean, what did we say, folks, before this game began? Top esports, all about the early game. RNG, much more focused on the mid and late game. And so far, top esports winning that early scrap for themselves. Winning control of the top side. Going for that early Drake that we talked about, top esports, having one of the highest Drake percentages in the entire league. Their first Drake percent, 3rd out of everyone in the league. They love to get that first dragon. And Tian living up to that statistic.
Yeah, and securing that early one just means they can start to pose a threat of dragon stacking. It's actually very important they don't let RNG contest dragons, because if you start to look at, you know, dragon in 4 minutes would be 10.5, another 2. You could threaten soul at like 22 minutes, and that would not allow RNG to scale up. And now they're looking for breathe.
The stun doesn't quite land there. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Tian grabbing himself the kill this time around, and I love this from Tian. He's like, you know what? We're against the new RNG top laner. Let's just set Wayward up for success. Let's get a ton of kills on this AP Gragas.
Absolutely, and the fact is, Breathe has no flash in this matchup up against the Gragas. Post 6, if you don't have flash, it's so easy to set up a gank, right? You can't orange the ult from Wayward, and the fact they close the gap, they get the slow, nothing Breathe can do, the cast comes in, and that's another kill over top esports. Really nice start, and this time Tian picks it up, so a bit of momentum for him as well. Way's going to respond by stealing away this red, but I don't think top esports care.
Yeah, no, I think Tian, he's got better things to do. He's got bigger fish to fry, or bigger skull crabs to fry. As a bit of a shellfish enthusiast, Tian, apparently. Loves that. I mean, he does live in Shanghai. There is a lot of great shellfish in Shanghai, so it makes a lot of sense as he'll return to the top side once again. No Way. There's now in the bottom lane an attempt onto Gala there. Ignite used as Way was moving into the lane, but Tian is just going to repeat gang. He's just going again. Breathe. You don't get to play top lane. You don't get the 1v1 that you were looking for. You just get bodied time and time again. Wayward with the emotes, and Breathe having the worst game of his split.
Yeah, 220 gold, by the way, for that kill. It's already started to drop, not being worth as much. But the beautiful thing there is just a very slow approach from top esports. They see Way on the bot side of the map. They know there is no one here to bail this GP out of this situation. And they end up picking up that that kill.
The really depressing thing about this top lane as well is Tian is just like hard camping. Obviously, there's not much Breathe can do about that. But Breathe got set behind because Way wanted the 2v2. Breathe was out. Like, Way had saved him. And then they end up both going down because of that 2v2. Like, if you're Breathe right now, you're typing in all chat jungle diff every single time.
Yeah, Wayward even stacks the wave up, so it's going to push out So now it's going to end up... This is the thing, is the wave state's going to end up in a really uncomfortable position again. They have the Herald in pocket. He's already taken 2 plates. This top side is just going really bad. But now they're actually looking to potentially contest here.
Well, Tian gets the red buff, but it might be at the cost of Knight. The Dawning Shadow from Gala. What a snipe. It's Tian. I mean, he got the red buff. Silver linings, I suppose, but he sacrificed his mid laner for it.
I think the message of this is these junglers do what they want, and their laners are the sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
Knight didn't really expect that damage, but Tian's like, I got the red. Mission successful.
Yeah, we take those, says Tian. As it's going to be a plate down at the bottom side. Obviously, Gala getting in position for that Dawning Shadow. But Xiaohu, a bit of free time in the mid lane, thanks to the fact that Knight was the one to go down during that play. No TP available for him either. So we'll lose a lot of CS in that mid lane.
Yeah, and, you know, we're gradually building up the CS lead in the mid lane. As much as there's a CS discrepancy in the bot lane, Gala and Ming, you know, you're happy with that situation. You're getting all the soul value from the Senna. It's really only this top lane that's a problem. But Herald and Pocket Tian, I want to see what they can do to try and blow the game open and try and really establish a bigger lead. First thing to note, though, is that dragon in 35 seconds. So if they can lean towards that, they have pressure and bot already, and just keep stacking those dragons, force an early soul before RNG get the time to lean into the scalings, especially because, bear in mind, you're up against a Corki. So when you're playing for those neutral objectives, a lot of the time you're going to have to deal with that package from Xiaohu, which is going to make it so much more difficult to find the right angle to approach. Speaking of the package...
Speaking of, yeah, it's on him right now. Xiaohu ready to make that play if he needs to. 5 seconds until that Drake comes up. Top Esports would love to just continue to stack these Drakes. They're looking for Xiaohu right now. They're trying to force the package out before the play. And we'll be able to get that package. Big damage onto Tian, though. He's actually on that package for a long old time. Look at the burn damage. Tian down to like 10 HP. Oh, my days. He's going to be forced to reset. This was not what Top Esports wanted out of the play.
I mean, this is the worst position to get hit by the package, is when you're trapped against a wall, because you're so slow, you can't walk out, you take all the burn. He does have the Herald recall, fortunately, to try and get back in time, but it looks like RNG is going to start the objective, and securing this dragon would be a massive bonus to them. It looks like they should be able to.
Yeah, no culling available here. Tien's still a while away. He's at chickens currently. The threat from Mark and JackeyLove trying to push everyone away. Wave the target right here. If they can kill the jungler, this would be huge. There it is. Dragon taken as well as the pick. And Top Esports, the early game kings. They manage to find yet another advantage. Ming will fall underneath his tower. The bubble lands. They can't actually kill him. Ming survives. In the meantime, Xiaohu sacrificed for the play as he has to bulk away, but taken down by Tian. Ming now charmed up and finished off in the end. And what should have just been a kill on the support turns into more for Top.
Almost as if Ming surviving actually made it worse. They all get baited in. Top Esports absolutely crush RNG. And RNG, who are hoping if they manage to get the dragon, they stop the stacking, get absolutely obliterated. Perfect opportunity to throw the Herald down as well. Tian is 4-0-3 right now. He's given a ton of gold over to JackeyLove as well. And the game is very much in Top Esports control. And yeah, RNG, you can see Wei trying to get the dragon low. I think his smite wasn't even actually available yet, so they were just trying to rush it. He goes down, Tian slides in, picks it up, and then the extended play. This is part of the power of having the Ahri, having the Lucian Nami is the chase down after the fact.
Yeah, but then Ming actually surviving this somehow. The Toglash keeps him alive. It means Xiaohu moves in to try and help. Gala moves in to try and help. And they both pay for it with their lives. And it means Ming still ends up going down after the play regardless. So, bit of a disaster, really, to be honest, from RNG. And that means now, look at the gold difference. We're 12 minutes into the game. And Top Esports are almost 6,000 gold up. That is mind-blowing.
This feels like spring. This feels like spring playoffs. So many times you saw this situation. And don't get me wrong, it is devastating for Top Esports. RNG making a lot of mistakes to get it here, but definitely not over yet. The scaling is in the favor of RNG, and they're obviously, we've seen them come back from deficits like this before. Xiaohu might be in trouble.
Xiaohu's already used the Valkyrie. There's the stun. Dawning Shadow to get him a shield, but with the Everfrost, there is no escaping. Tian with yet another one, who, by the way, Tian having an amazing game for himself. 8 out of the 9 kills he's been a part of, and now Ming in trouble as well. The bubble will go wide, but that's still huge damage. That's still 3/4 of his health bar.
Yeah, got the Gale Force with the Dirk and the Mandate completed by Nami. Obviously, the plate gold, the first tower gold shared between them. So Nami also able to hit that YM spike. And the damage is insane. On bot side, the Herald, I believe, got the second charge. And Wayward was cleaning up that tier 2 tower. Everything and more going in favor of top esports. And one thing to note is that RNG don't have great engage. Other than like the package flying in, they're kind of at the whim of top esports coming into them. So, you know, as much as I say they have the scaling advantage, as much as I say they've been back in these positions before, it's not like they have a go button necessarily, which is something they often rely on now. Is that a tidal wave coming over the wall?
Look at the tidal wave! Oh, the charm comes out from Knight! That was gorgeous! From Knight and from Mark. Way will survive with his life, but what a combo.
Man, top esports, they just don't miss. I feel like this game, you know, they're consistently pressing the aggression. And, you know, there's a lot of games where a team gets ahead and they kind of, you know, they build up a lead. They're like, right, let's set up dragons. No, top esports are like, we will take any window. If someone is just existing, that is enough of an affront to us that we will take them out of this game. And they're constantly picking up kills across the map. Just fantastic play from them.
It's gorgeous to see. There are no teams in the world that put the pressure on that top esports do in the early game. If you give them an inch, they will take the entire game. And then you think Knight is going for Wave, but the charm straight onto Gala. It's just
completely blows them up. Unfortunately, the bubble doesn't connect to get Way as well, but still, they will absolutely take it. Tian gonna pick up the second Herald. Bear in mind, RNG have no towers, no dragons, no heralds. They have 1 kill. That's all they have so far this game. Not quite a perfect game, obviously, but top esports really trying to get as close as they can to that perfection. And with the Herald in pocket, you know, we're already seeing, look at top lane tower. Breathe can't step up. He's zoned away. Tower is down. Wayward's fishing for Xiaohu. No flash.
Yeah, this is scary for Xiaohu. The minion wave is there, but the slow comes down. Drunken Rage, Dawning Shadow to buy a bit of time. Wayward over the wall, and they take a TP. Honestly, it's still a win for top esports. 35 seconds on this Ocean Drake as well, as the Herald comes down mid. And Knight moving down from the top side. They're going for a play in the mid lane. Forget the Drake. They just want to get kills. Tien, big damage on the front line. Will be rooted as Breathe tries to get into the action. The charm will hit a minion, though. So Way survives, but now, off the back of this pressure, top esports can just go to Drake.
It's a 9,000 gold lead already, Joe. 9,000 at 16 minutes. It's insane. And RNG have the package. This is desperation.
Oh my god, the damage out from JackeyLove and Knight. What can you do? This is what you get for existing RNG. They get demolished in the jungle. 2 more kills, as it's just everything going the way of top esports. There is the dragon available, but I don't think top esports care about the Drake. They want to end before the soul is even an option.
That's what I was going to say. Like, this is going to be a super early soul. I don't even know if the game will last long enough. That's how far ahead they are. 10,000 gold lead at 16 minutes. They're about to pick up another tier 2 tower. There's only 1 tower outside the base of RNG left available. This is just an absolute dismembering. We do see Tian going to pick up the dragon as well. And I'm just going to be real. RNG, they're looking at game 2. This feels so doomed.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. I'm genuinely mind blown at how well top esports are playing today, because like you're saying, they're 1 kill away from a perfect game right now, and top esports are not the team that you think of for perfect games, right? This is a messy team. This is a team that's quite often, you know, very lax with the way that they play the game, but this split, they've tidied things up. This split, they're not going to 3 games every single series. This split, they are playing a lot cleaner, and it shows here today. They have learned from what happened in spring playoffs.
And I mean, if they can continue this sort of run of form, they're going to be a super scary team. You can tell they're taking this one very seriously. There was definitely some moments like the JDG game 3. We all laughed about it, you know, JackeyLove and Mark overstepping. And yes, there were some moments in here where they did overstep a bit, but never enough to allow RNG to punish. And now they're just using this momentum. They have Knight stacking up a wave in the top lane. They have JackeyLove contesting the mid pressure. They're going to zone Xiaohu away, stack this wave up. Don't let anyone even approach the jungle from the side of RNG and try and crash this wave to pressure the tower. On this side of the map, Wayward hasn't shown yet, but does have TP if he does want to join.
This is the difference between top esports and so many other teams. Is like other teams will use this gold lead to slowly but surely, incrementally win the game, right? Get big CS leads, get big advantages that way, try and win out in terms of macro. Top esports will just brutalize you. They're not bothered about winning in CS. They're bothered about fighting right here and right now. The cannon barrage was used off the back of that huge damage from JackeyLove. Tian is not going to retreat. He's not scared of 4 players. Of course not. He's got Blast Cone. He's still got Viego ult available for himself. Top Esports layering this pressure in. We're not even at 20 minutes, and they're going to finish off this top tower by the looks of things as well. I mean, this is just pure brutalization from the side of Top Esports.
Absolutely is, and I love that it feels very tempered. Like, they go aggressive, they push forwards, but they don't overstep. They don't give a window. And now, look, the damage coming through.
Yeah, big damage there. Tian threatening the dive on the other side. In the meantime, Wayward just threatening an inhib tower. Just pure pressure across the entire map right here for Top Esports. But they do seem to be stalling out somewhat. They can't quite finish any more of these towers.
But, I mean, as much as they're defending, damage is being done to the tower, and Dragon is spawning in 2.5 minutes. And I do feel like eventually they're going to have to lose somewhere. Ming.
God, well, see you later, Ming. My God, that's damage out from JackeyLove. And with a pick like that, any concerns of Top Esports stalling out are officially gone. The tower falls. That's all 3 tier 2s in 19.5 minutes. Like you say, Drake up in 2 minutes. Baron is up in 20 seconds as well. And I don't think Wayward. I don't think Top Esports would be shy to start the Baron.
Yeah, it's a 12,000 gold lead now. And the thing is, Top Esports, they can posture around the Baron, fish for a pick, and go for the objective, or they can just wait for the Ocean Soul. And bear in mind, RNG already really far behind in damage, right? A big aspect is the ability to find poke, whether it's through Gangplank barrels or Corki rockets. That will be completely obliterated by the Ocean Soul. It will become so much harder to kill anyone or even just poke them out. You can see they move forward as a massive unit just to get one control ward into the Baron pit, as Top Esports have reset and opened back on the map. And really, the game is Top Esports to dictate at this point. They can just completely take control and decide, do they want to start at the Baron? Do they want to fish for picks? Do they just want to wait for the Dragon? The fact is, they've taken 6 towers pre-Baron.
And you have to ask yourself a question. You know, you're talking about RNG moving in as a unit. Wayward then answers by himself and drops a control ward. It's like, who would win? An MSI championship team or one scuba diver? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. And I'm leaning the way of the scuba diver right now with his Night Harvester Gragas build. You love to see it. Drake up in a minute. Baron on the map. It's just beautiful.
He's actually on the Shadow Flame as well, so I was kind of expecting to go the Seraph second for the ability haste. He's like, nope, I'm fed. I just want damage at this point.
I just want to one-shot people.
Yeah, and the Medjais as well for Knight on the Ahri. Starts to pick up some more kills, will spike incredibly hard. Yeah, they're playing for the Dragon now. They're not letting them get close. You can see RNG kind of have to group up as 5. Xiaohu's going to go pick up the package. And this has to be the last-ditch effort. I don't think RNG win this. I don't think they're even close. But the game's doomed anyway. You just have to try and make the package work. But yeah, we can see on the minimap, they have nothing to work with.
Last attempt here for RNG. And before the play happens, although there might not be a before here, Drake up in 12 seconds. As Xiaohu with that package wants to find a way in. Tian threatening the engage, though. There's a big cast. That's half of Gala's health gone already, just from the cask alone. Knight finds a charm onto way, bit more damage coming down onto RNG. They really want to move in. They really want to contest, but there's just nothing they can do. Gala knocked up Dawning Shadow just for the shield across his team here. As Wayward can walk in, but Top Esports haven't really used that much just yet. They're getting some poke down, but they can keep this up all day.
Yeah, they want to try and burn Xiaohu's package. They're stalling for time at the moment.
Oh, big damage onto Way. They need to back away once again, though. Drake on the map here. Remember, RNG, even if they get the Drake, if they all die, they might just lose the game. Tian trying to find an engage on the back of the play.
Package gone.
The wall. That's package gone. As you say, Ming taken low. Tian goes into the middle of everyone. Package is gone. That's the go button for Top Esports. Knight over the wall, though, and a cannon barrage to disengage. RNG holding on, but JackeyLove ain't stopping anytime soon. Top Esports jump into the mix, and more RNG alive. The gold lead is just too much. Breathe might find one, but it does not matter one iota. 18-2 as Top Esports rip RNG apart.
And this is just a fantastic example of the growth of Top Esports. So much respect there. They're 12,000 gold ahead, and yet they don't just pull the trigger. They don't just go in. They wait. They buy time. They let the package time out. They get some poke down. JackeyLove finds a window. He doesn't get punished. He has flash, so he was definitely safe to go for that. And then instantly, the trigger is pulled. They all go in. They get the fight. They get the Dragon, and they won't even do the Baron. Why? Because it's a risk. They're not taking risks. They know what happens if you take risks against RNG. They will punish, And so they're just playing this one as safe as possible. You're 14k gold up with an Ocean Soul. Why even chance it?
Yeah, this is a changed team. And just look at this team fighting as well. Like, this is actually a way closer fight than it maybe should have been. But JackeyLove, just no fear in this man's heart. Gets back out again with his life. It's just beautiful.
It's really well played. And again, as soon as he goes in, Wayward's there to follow up. And they just completely obliterate. I love the fact they corralled them in. They let RNG push in to the river when they had the package. And then they had these flank angles where they were just pushing and prodding and testing RNG, seeing where they would slip up. But now, Knight, he's still got on the charge.
Yeah, that's Xiaohu probably going to go down here. One more ability, and Knight finds a 1v1, another solo kill. To add to that statistic, he was already top of the league for mid lane solo kills, and now maintaining that stat as he's on just short of maximum stacks on his Medjais as well. And like you say, I just love that we're seeing this change top esports. We're seeing this version of the team that is like willing to use their sheer mechanical prowess, their ability to just win lanes and to win the early game, and then also not randomly throwing the game 2 minutes later. Like, what a combo, what a strategy.
Yeah, it feels very tempered. It feels like they aren't given the opportunities. Whereas before, they'll just go, look, we're mega fed. We're really good players. Let's just make the fight happen. They're showing a lot more restraint. And as a result, RNG, they have 2 kills. That's all they've accomplished this game. 2 kills. Nothing else at all. And it is not looking to get better right now. Top Esports fishing for this 3-man. They should be able to get away, but no one's there to defend the tower as a result.
And, you know, we've seen things like this Corki being first picked across the world. This is how you punish a Corki. Sheer early aggression. Never let it come online. Mid in him. Going to be in trouble.
Got a tower.
Breathe did get a tower. That's going to be a bit of gold. But Ming has to save Gala's life in the meantime. As the mid in him falls, the top esports move towards the top side as well. You know, RNG, they got 1 tower. It's a small silver lining. But hey, it's something.
Yeah, not sure it's going to be enough, though. Breathe having to reset to try and come in. They're losing these inhibitors so quickly right now. And again, no engage from RNG. No reliable engage to find a window. They're just at the whim of all this harass.
Oh, it's a knock-up onto Ming. Bit of damage there. Dawning Shadow to get the shields as well as Gala just gets kicked onto the fountain by Wayward. I don't know if that was the intended target there. I don't know if that was the intended direction. But it doesn't really matter as Knight is just fiending them in the back line. Breathe will fall. And Top Esports padding their stats as they look for more on the fountain. Ming cannot do anything as the big damage comes out from Tian's Gangplank. And now Ming gets them to run out of the base. He's trying to buy time. He's trying to do anything that he can, but he knows it's over just as much as Top Esports do. I don't think they're going to end. I think they're going to dive the fountain. There's a charm. Okay, they are going to end the game. Top Esports 1-0 with almost a kill a minute over RNG.
Yeah, and RNG barely just breaking over a kill a game. They got 2 kills in that one. Stark difference. And I feel like this is the tempered Top Esports. This is the evolution. Fantastic early game, but they managed to maintain it throughout. And I'm sure that RNG are going to have some solutions on how to bounce back from this one. But that game, that didn't even look close. It didn't look like there was hope. I think, you know, the game peaked at the start for RNG. It just went downhill from there. It really felt hopeless after a point, and Top Esports gave no windows.
And that's the thing, like, it just, if you're a player on like a lower tier competitive team, you're trying to climb the ranks, you're trying to get into the ERLs or whatever, go back and watch that early game. That is how you snowball a game. That is like the just sheer aggression and sheer pressure coming out from Top Esports. If you want to learn from a team on how to be more aggressive, that is your case study right there, because that's against one of the very best teams in the world. This is the team that literally just won MSI, getting absolutely annihilated by Top Esports. That says everything that you need to know. And I have to say, Dan, I'm already looking at the schedule for later on in the split. Top Esports versus V5, I feel like is going to be the big decider before playoffs. It doesn't happen until week 10. That's going to be the very final week of LPL. We get the top teams facing off.
That could be a big one as well. I know V5 obviously has fantastic game score, which will be a good way of keeping them first if they maintain their current position as undefeated. But Top Esports, yeah, after that one, just fantastic performance. It kind of feels like, you know, Way made a mistake. And then because he made a mistake, Breathe got punished again and again. And then that started to bleed out on the rest of the map. You know, the Dragon was secured, the Herald was secured. RNG try and contest the Dragon. they aren't able to find the avenue. And it just felt like, you know, it was like it was a snowball. You know, we use that term so much, but that's why it's called a snowball, because, you know, as it rolls down a snowy mountain, it gathers and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just felt like that was how it happened. You make a mistake and that is enough. And Top Esports can just completely run away with it. And you see that from the goal difference, right? Very clean graph. Just keeps growing and growing. Like we joke so much about the LPL gold graph being super wacky and going all over the place. Top Esports, very clean performance. And yeah, I mean, Way just not having any impact after that first mistake.
Yeah, none whatsoever there. And I mean, I never thought I would say it, but that is a clean gold graph coming out from Top Esports. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, just a steady incline like that. Really, really impressive stuff. And like you say, a changed team. RNG, though, on the other hand, you know, drafting this full scale and composition feels like you need to give a little bit more respect to Top Esports in this regard. And like the Corki being punished massively, Gala and Ming not able to have any presence in that bottom lane beyond the first couple of levels. Feels like you need to bring something more to the table for the early game to be able to enact this kind of comp.
I think you need just a lane to play for. It feels like top lane was your lane. Mid lane was going to scale, bot lane was going to scale, top lane was going to scale. That was a consistent theme, and it was kind of like all on Way to mitigate Tian. And as much as I think like he didn't play it as he should, I just think it's so much easier. Like I said this in the previous series, if you have a lane that you can at least put some pressure towards, it would make all the difference.
Yep. Unfortunately, they didn't have that for game number 1. We'll see what RNG changed for game number 2, because they need to change